Hello everyone and welcome to INFINOX Market Insights with me, Richard Perry, analysing markets for INFINOX on Monday the 7th of June. Now this morning we've seen the dollar starting to stabilise a little bit. There was a significant dollar selling pressure that came through on Friday afternoon in the wake of a pretty disappointing non-farm payrolls report, which led a few questions to be asked of the US recovery, certainly with regards to the labour market and how that can impact through the FOMC decision to taper asset purchases further down the line. So the dollar had a bit of a hit on Friday, but it has started to find support again, and that's witnessed throughout forex majors, also through commodity markets as well. Equities are also pushing to new highs or trying to break out, but are they struggling once more to do so? So interesting moves that we've got on major markets today. Now we're going to be focusing on more the data at the moment because the Fed is in blackout period ahead of the meeting next week. So we need to be looking at probably the inflation numbers that we've got back end of this week to really be the next key driver, I think, of major markets. No real data to worry about today though. Now don't forget the INFINOX support and resistance table at the end of this video. So with regards to charts that we're looking out for today, we've got an interesting move that I think we're potentially developing on cable, where sterling dollar is just slipping back again as that dollar's strengthening, but also the sterling is not performing as well as it has been. We're also looking at the Brent Crude oil price, which moved to two-year highs on Friday and again this morning, but is struggling to really gain that traction for a decisive breakout. We'll look at the strategy there. And also finally on the SP 500 futures, again pushing on resistance, but can it or is it the right time to buy? And is it about to see another corrective slip? So let's have a look at these charts. And onto the INFINOX MT5 platform now, and we're starting off with sterling dollar, where cable is still in this big broad uptrend channel, but last few weeks it's been really struggling to push on and break through resistance, and it may start to now fall back into this the bottom of this blue zone here. So let's just zoom in slightly more. We can see that the market has just rolled over slightly. It had that pick up on Friday with the payrolls report, but again rolled back over today. Momentum looks good though still. I think it could pull back towards maybe 140 again. I think if you saw it at 140, I think that's a good buying opportunity. But essentially, I think that this is still a fairly positive outlook, but just struggling to really push on. I think if you look on the 4-hour chart, it really gives you an impression that the market has just lost some of its upside momentum. Look at this RSI throughout the run higher that we saw May into June. May into late May. We saw the RSI consistently on the 4-hour chart, picking up around the mid-40s, pushing higher into the 60s, but it's now failing around the 65 area, falling back into the 30s, and you can see here now struggling around the 50 area. So it would suggest that momentum has certainly been lost in the bull run, and it could now come back and test this 40-80 level of support that we had as a reaction low on Friday prior to that payrolls report. So if it breaks down that, I think you're seeing it back at 140 big figure, but I would be saying that that is buying opportunity levels there, but just lost that level of breakout for now. And onto the oil chart, well, it's been trending higher within this uptrend channel. It's actually come back a couple of levels. You can see it's obviously still pretty positive and pushing resistance. And if you go back on the 1-week chart, you can see it's testing really important resistance that goes back to 2019. And back on the 4-hour chart, you can though see that this is just struggling to move on actually. You can see a negative divergence on the RSI, lower highs on the RSI as the market's been moving to higher highs on the price. That suggests a slowing momentum. This this moving average, 21 4-hour moving average, just broken below that again. And if you zoom in here, you can see that obviously the support around 70, 75 is important initially. You could see a break back under that, and you could see the market unwinding into the high 60s. And that would probably be a buying opportunity, but it just seems to have lost the impetus for now. And finally, on the S&P 500, you can see here that it's testing resistance again. But is this a moment that it's breaking out? Well, look at the RSI. It's just not really doing it for me. It's a little bit underwhelming, I would say, on the daily RSI, and it's back into this resistance band 42.10 to 42.37, and again just pulling back initially today. And I showed you initially This chart here, which is the Bollinger Band's basically flat on that, slightly positive bias still, you'd say, with the stochastics up there, and you can move on to the MACD lines, and they are slightly rising, but not to any real extent in terms of positive and strong momentum. You just might see another pullback, and we've seen this consistently. Into resistance, you see a pullback, and I think you could well get another opportunity at a lower level on the S&P, but just not really doing it for me. And I think anything around 41.80, maybe 42 figure could be seen, and that would probably be another opportunity again to buy. Thanks for watching this video. I hope you found it informative for your trading. Join me again on Wednesday, where we'll be looking ahead to that US inflation data. So I'll leave you with the INFINOX support and resistance table, and I'll speak to you then. Thank you very much.